Children's laughter echoes night.
When I began this battle, my soul was so damn fragile. I was looking at life through a fog. I lost my baby girl and they killed my dog. I was laying on the bottom feeling sad, thinking about doing bad things, raging fucking mad. I couldn't understand why I was chosen. Then it led to my rage and explosion. I am the one who can make this better. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for my biggest fight. Wrap your kids in the Bible. Wrap your kids in the flag. CPS is from the devil. Y'all know that it's a fact. I'm a father that went to jail. I cherish my daughter. It was nothing when they come for her and me. There should have been a slaughter. Stand with us. Make parenting great again. Abolish CPS. Ambush with the black SUVs. They come armed, they came for me, and they came for her. Stand with us, make parenting great again, abolish CPS. They took her from me, she's across the state. Gone for a year now, taken away. All these people who have written me off, I'm here to show my face and tell you you're wrong. I never was as good as you, and for the record we know that's not true. I'm not trying for a comparison. How dare you, you're embarrassing. I don't wanna be as good as anyone else. I fight this battle, I fight for myself. I am the one who can make this better. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for my biggest fight. I don't care about your judgment, I'm glad you gave us this test. But when your life is over, will your heart sleep quietly in your chest? I've got more life to live. As a matter of fact, it's just beginning. I've been given a challenge and my daughter is waiting. It's a fight I can't walk away from, a new life we are creating. So why you sit there mouth full of hating? Be sure my mind is planning on invading. I've got a war to fight and I'm on. I won't give up, I need to win, this is bigger than you. I don't expect you to understand. I am the one who can start over. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for the biggest fight. I won't be left behind. This is the time, I call it mine. Step out of the way unless you wanna play Trump. Stand with us. Make parenting great again. Abolish CPS. There is no time for bickering. The clocks are flickering. Pick up your weapon and join me. If not, go back to ignoring me. I will be on top. Pistol
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS and abolish CPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
Oh, there's me. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night, right? Tuesday night's edition of CPS Victims Hunting for Justice. As always, we've got ourselves a chat right here. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all those things. Tell your friends about it. Let your parents, let your families know that they need to be watching this stuff because CPS is real. And when they come for you, they come with a vengeance. They're not going to lay off you because you're the mom or the dad of the year. They don't care that you're a family that's of good standing. They just want that kid because they want that money. Ain't that right? That's the way it is. So we're going to bring out Mr. Vincent here. Looks like we got a full house. I guess we got everybody coming in here. We got Gunner and his wife with us. Hell yeah. We got Herbert's in here somewhere. What's up, guys?
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, is that nice? What's up with the missus? Hey, you're not the Punisher.
I don't know what happened. I'll have to turn around
and that should say Punishers. It should be plural because your wife's with you. Have some respect, Gunner.
I'll fix
hey, you
that.
had a hell of a show. You had a good show Sunday night, huh?
Oh man, we had a killer show Sunday night, man. Man, the numbers were phenomenal. People are interacting. We're reaching places. I mean, we're getting into the Chicagoland area, especially big time. So stomping ground. That place is exploding. I mean, we've even some local artists that we're doing some stuff there. They even wrote some songs because of what we were doing before we even met, or even was introduced.
Oh, nice.
And we're including that stuff. So some of that's exciting. We're actually making some connections. Don't hold me to this, but we're working on it. But there is a good possibility that we will be having Adam Calhoun on the show, and Struggling Jennings was possibly going to be on the show. We're working on that right now. He is on tour, but we do have 1 degree of separation, come to find out. So that's something that we can kind of look forward to. And maybe, they're already in the fight from the music industry. It'd be great just to have them all come on board and let's just start, lassoing everybody together to just say, we're calling this out. We've had enough.
Yeah, I seen that Dallas was in there too. I'm surprised
Dallas
he's not on here tonight.
Dallas was in there last night. A lot of his people. So there's a lot of this coming together that people are getting past some of their things and this, that, and they're starting to feel that, hey, we've got something, and people have got a lot of things going and they're just waiting. They just don't know. But we're seeing a lot of changes. Like even today, DOGE put a temporary restraining order on the Social Security Administration, which, yes, that freezes everything. They are going to get hard numbers on everything. Probably, I would say that would also include, I mean, I'm just shooting at the wind here, the amount of Title IV money and other money for children itemized, and even itemized per case number. Because remember, they're not.
Well, Bonnie did a thing on that today. Actually, I sent it to Darren, I think.
Yeah. So they are slowly
working up too.
Yeah. Connie did a thing on that today. She had a live video that she did with the numbers and how much they're making per year.
Hey,
Washington.
do you know who broke that to Connie? That thing that they use now to get all their numbers from?
You?
Well, not me, but it's Tiff. But it was us. Yep, we broke that. So that's what they're all using now by these numbers. Is that I don't remember the name of the. It's Elon Musk's thing that came out that he tells you go to the site and it. Oh man, let me think here. I remember. It's like Republic something. Republic. But it'll tell you all the money that each
once they do this stuff, guys, it's going to be released. Everything that Elon's doing, you can see reports under the Freedom of Information Act. They're posting this stuff. They want true transparency. This is what we found. Here's the itemized thing. Here's where it was classified. This is where it was hidden. And man, they are digging up so much money laundering stuff we were talking about on Tip and Punisher.
Yeah, we're way above $2 billion. We're way above trillions now.
Oh yeah.
Do you know the number? Do they have a number yet?
It was over 2 trillion last I checked, but that was 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's
what are they doing? Now, what's going on with the money? Where's that money going?
Well, it's ended up going into slush funds, basically in shell corporations. So basically, somebody will open up a couple LLCs in this LLC, and they'll just apply for loans or grants and this and that, but there's no oversight on how that money's spent. So they just walked off with the money, and eventually it made its way back around to a sizable campaign contribution, and that's why lobbyists needs to be done with. We need to stop the lobbying in all states and in federal government. It needs to stop. This is the number one reason why, because of what they've been able to do.
Right, but isn't lobbying kind of like a pastime of being able to influence your politicians to do what you want to have done? I mean, isn't that kind of like the voice of the people?
Well, once again,
I get when bribery comes into play, but in reality, those people are supposed to be the ones that are speaking for certain groups that are coming. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's turned like the rest of it has, but lobbyists are supposed to be the voice of the people.
They can also be the voice of corporations. It just depends.
Do you know how much Coca-Cola spends a year?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Coca-Cola takes and spends a year on all those not to have. I mean, do you know how much fight some of these smaller businesses went through to come out with these clean drinks that they're coming out with that we're seeing, and different things like that. They don't want to have like a Poppy and what's some of the others that they have out there. Clearly, Canadian came back available here in the States. There's a lot of cleaner sodas and this and that where stuff with sugars instead of corn syrup. A lot of those things that all goes into play.
Right. That's good. Yeah, that's all attributed to RFK.
Yeah.
I mean, that's him, coming out, and that's him taking this conspiracy theory stuff that everybody talks about, saying yada yada.
They coined that word and did invent that word. FYI.
Okay, so here's what News Weekly put out for the total. It says, which is not affiliated with Doge, has already recorded what is called savings of over $32 billion.
That's kind of a disappointing number.
And now, since July, updated July.
So that's way back.
Yeah, their goal to hit is $2 trillion fully. That's their goal. That's probably the breaking point or the tipping point at that.
But that's DOGE. But also what they're uncovering too is the stuff that should have never come out. So your budgets ain't no wonder the budget would never balance is because of all these shadow and loan corporations and things that they were giving out that they're now tracking down. That's just like Judge Davis just got caught with his Cayman Islands account, fixing cases in federal court.
Yeah, and Bloomberg or whatever his name is got caught too out there.
Follow the money. I mean, the idea of these lobbyists was for yes, for the corporations to come in and make or plead their case why it would benefit working with them or some of the ideals side by side with the American people. But your elected and appointed officials and actors are supposed to be there to protect your people and saying, well, let me see what my constituents say or how the law applies. Let's make sure that we're doing things right. No, this doesn't sound like a good idea. We don't want your business in there. And then your congressmen and stuff like that are supposed to be meeting with a lot of your business owners as well as their constituents. That they're so disconnected, they ain't got a fucking clue what the people want.
Right. Hey, Vinny, where's Connie? Where's that Connie video?
Hold on. I can go grab it real quick.
This is right. I got to get you connected with her, Gunner, because she's right there in your state too. So we need to get you and Connie hooked up together.
I know, Chris, it's you. Don't play that.
Let me take a look here what she's talking about right here. Because here she is. Yeah, we start.
My internet being a dick tonight.
There you go. I fixed it for you. I don't know why. Maybe you.
Anyway, she posted into the Family Forward project group, Darren.
All right, well, we got it.
It was done this afternoon and this morning. Because she's
not muted on this right side. You're muted on your side. Because you're turned on.
It said the host.
There you are. We can hear you.
Oh yeah, there's my foreign friends are popping up now.
That was it?
No, there's another one somewhere there. She posted a couple of them today.
Let me go to her. We'll find her real quick. Where is Miss Connie? Connie. And do that. Go to her profile.
What's up, Teets?
Do this. All right. Let's take a look. Just instead. Here we are. But yeah, Gunner, I want to get you involved with her. Here we go. Why don't we just go down her list of this? Let's check out her videos. Let's see what we got.
Brentwood.
Oh, where's the volume? There it is.
Illegal, and he hid what he was doing from the boards. He took foster homes in 6 states and he turned them over to the pharmaceutical industry. He made sure that the people who were running those foster homes did not even have medical training. Most of them were immigrants who came from the Dominican Republic. They knew nothing about medicine or responsibilities, and they were sickened when they realized slowly what they were involved in doing to these children, that they were torturing these children. And you know, there's videos of these children, an old BBC documentary that will make you cry. I promise you cannot look at these without weeping. There, you know, one of these kids, a 12-year-old who's trying to protect the 8-year-old, and he has a tube in his stomach. And he's telling them, you know, I tried to fight them, and this is what they do if you fight them. You can't fight them. You need to just take the drugs. And the kids didn't want to take them because the drugs were making them horribly sick. And Celia Farber, who's this amazing researcher who worked on this chapter for me and did a lot of the original research on it, she actually went up to Hawthorne, New York, to the Gates of Heaven Cemetery. She found the cemetery where Fauci was disposing of the corpses of these children who died in his illegal experiments. She found an open pit. It was actually covered by an astroturf carpet. She opened the astroturf carpet and she saw hundreds and hundreds of tiny little coffins stacked haphazardly upon each other, because these are children who have no parents and nobody was there to protect them. And Tony Fauci treated them as collateral damage, and you know, his objective was to enlarge the market for these pharmaceutical companies who he had partnered with by allowing HIV, these toxic chemotherapy drugs, to be given to children. And then the next experiments, which are in the next chapter, which are equally horrendous, is his experiments on African. Tony Fauci made sure that none of those kids had guardians, which is illegal. And then he hid what he was doing from the boards. He took foster homes in 6 states and he turned them over to the pharmaceutical industry. He made sure that the people who were running those foster homes did not even have medical training. Most of them were immigrants who came from the Dominican Republic. They knew nothing about medicine or responsibilities, and they were sickened when they realized slowly what they were involved in doing to these children, that they were torturing these children. And there's videos of these children, an old BBC documentary that will make you cry.
All right, what do you think of that, guys?
It's sick. Sick.
Darren, play the one that I just sent you. That follows that.
Okay. Well, let's address one thing. He's talking about foster care. If you'll take a look at the International Association of Special Needs Children, and this is an international council, they had already predated that. They were doing those experiments and everything else in the sanitariums before Ronald Reagan shut them down. All it did was
California
foster care facilities. So this has been going on longer than that. And it's been documented, and there's court records of it, including pictures, testimony, the whole thing. He's
tying it to the pharmaceutical companies. He's not even just the random. Now he's actually saying that they're doing this for the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. No, that's what they used to do in the sanitariums. They would do human experiments at these sanitariums on children.
Right, but then it was for science, right?
Well, yeah. Well, once again, they weren't considered. Once again, when these children were born or they were taken as they grew up, they're not considered human or citizens. They have no rights or anything because they are mentally diminished. So therefore, they're just numbers.
Check this out. This was just posted 9 hours ago. Idaho wants to execute child rapists, and they're dead serious. For the worst crimes against kids, Idaho lawmakers are done playing around. The legislature just passed a bill allowing the death penalty for adults who sexually abuse children 12 and under. The vote was even close. The House backed it anonymously, and Senate followed a 30-5 vote. Now it is up to the governor, Brad Little, who has 5 days to decide whether Idaho becomes the latest state to test the Supreme Court on this.
Okay.
Well,
Get information.
That's good.
Well, let's look at the flip side of that.
No.
Which court is that going to be in that they're going to apply that to? Are they going to try to dumb that down back in the civil court and family court and do prosecutions like they do criminal charges on you without all your rights and all your due process? Because that could be very well twisted by the system if there's not clarification on that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, there's two sides. Even though that sounds good, you got to watch how they're going to abuse it as well, is what you have to consider when they pass them. And have they made sure that it's the chances of it being abused goes way down or next to nothing, which is why that goes back to our lawmakers. Write this shit the right way to where it's very, 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 very clear and bulletproof.
Right. And you got to remember that constitutional rights have to go regardless of what side of the fucking fence that they're on. Even though they're the most sick, disgusting pieces of shit on this earth, you still have to make sure that the Constitution works to them as well. Because if it doesn't work equally for everybody, then it's not existing to do what it's supposed to be done. So that's exactly true, Garner. You always. Yeah, Jen, you can call in. Let me find my let me grab my phone. I dropped it here a minute ago. Let me grab my phone.
Legally speaking, there is only one way that you do not have constitutional rights. Only one. And that is if you commit an act of treason. And if you commit an act of treason, that goes before a military tribunal. And you have no rights.
Yep. All right, let me Can you see if you can find my phone? It's right over there. Just call it for me, guys. Let me grab my phone here, guys, and then we'll get that. We'll get you, Jen. You can call in. You have my phone number, Jen, right? So you can just call my phone in a second once we notice it. It's over. It's right in the back, right there, somewhere. And then we got. Did you guys see here?
She can call my number.
Yeah, just call my number.
Jennifer.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Husband, who are you talking to about PMing you on Facebook? Your number.
She's talking to me.
Okay, we got it. Sorry, I got caught up.
No, it didn't break. Wow, good. Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. Did you guys see right here? RFIRN, RFIRN. Hope you all come April 7th to the 11th for the Family Forward Project, Title IV Reform Rally. They do that every year, right? You guys have done that for like 3 or 4 years now, right? I'm pretty sure.
They're gonna be they're gonna be in DC. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've done it longer than that. But yeah, we should try to get someone there. We should be reporting live from that. That would be a cool adventure to go on.
There's an online one tomorrow for Pass the Torch.
Yep.
I believe it's on a TikTok forum.
It's at 9:30
in the morning.
No,
12 o'clock for the TikTok one.
Oh, well, they're doing a couple of them. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, check it out, guys. RFIRN, reforming. Stands for Restoring Families Internet Radio Network. That's great, man. Well, welcome. Thank you for showing up. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna further that talk. Let's talk about that going there in April. Oh shit, that's only what? March, April. That's only a couple weeks away. 2 weeks away.
Can we close the screen out, Darren?
Jennifer's calling my line, Darren.
Okay, cool.
Hey, okay. All right, you're on. Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you. I don't mind.
No, everybody's waiting to hear what you got to say.
Okay. Hi, Darren.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. Hi, Gunnar and Mr. Evers. Okay. So, ever since becoming embroiled in this catastrophic, debacle, I've been writing to the governor of Tennessee. I've been writing to the AGs, state and federal, Congress. At first, I was only writing Tennessee. The governor and I were talking about this earlier, Marsha Blackburn. There needs to be, and it should have been put into the Adoption and Safe Families Act before that thing ever got put through, something that I have affectionately termed Grady's Law, because we actually have a demise as a result of all this crap, and our son was named Grady. It's based on Deuteronomy chapter 19 verses 16 through 21, and it's called the Law of the False Accuser. The person making the accusation has to go before the governing bodies. I think the Bible says the judges and the priests, but in our case it would just be the judges. And when they bring their accusation, if they are found to be false accusers, they're the ones who get the penalty for which they're trying to entrap we, the intended. Let's say, for example, it's child abuse and neglect, and it's 10 years and stiff penalties. They get that. When they're found to be the one bringing these accusations and trying to drag us into litigation, and they're found to be false, they get spanked. And that, I think it was horribly remiss for this not to have been included in AFS in 1997. Got through, they've been raping, pillaging, pirating, steamrolling, railroading families, killing kids, filling up the asylums, getting $50 million worth of drug money every day because everybody's jacked up on pharmaceuticals because nobody really cares about the outcomes. They just want to bacillify the children in state's custody or in guardianships. So I just wanted to make that a household term. Grady's Law, Deuteronomy, chapter 16, chapter 19, verse 16, Deuteronomy. Whether you're religious or not is not the point. The point is that this is a law that's been known to humanity for 3,500 years, and it should have been put into AFS before anybody signed off on it. Said, yeah, let the money start rolling. It won't be viewed as an incentive to take children from perfectly loving, safe, stable families and traffic them out to inferior situations, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
That's Grady's Law, a household term. I wrote to Connie about it. Hey, fish this under the nose. I wrote to Marcia about it. She's heard from it. She was the household.
Yeah, because
The Grady and Riley law.
her case is in Tennessee, so that's why she's keeping up on what's going on over there.
What is it with Tennessee? Why is Tennessee so flooded with this stuff? I mean, you hear everybody's Tennessee, Tennessee, Tennessee. It's like it's the hub of.
It's because of what we broke that has now been spread here. What we've been doing here in Tennessee, you are seeing so many people that are now either connecting to my show, my advertisement. The TikToks were going insane till they shut me down for misinformation. Did it again, once again, banned. It had 4 accounts, start, finish, till I got a permanent ban. You can no longer this and from TikTok, even a full-on email, you cannot anymore because of the mass spread of misinformation. Now,
Tennessee runs off the good old boy system. They're all protecting each other here, and families just don't have any recourse. So it is pretty bad.
Well, and you're fighting also, it's also known as part of the Bible Belt. So there's a lot of religious influence that should not be in the courtroom. 100%.
Yeah, she did that. She did that this morning. She was doing that today too, Teets. I seen that.
And understand, guys, this goes the same for overdoing things with your religious beliefs in the courtroom. Swings both ways to the other side of the left of the extreme of some of the things of the left for that. It doesn't go either way. It shouldn't float either way, left or right. It's supposed to stay in the middle. Right. The Constitution is not one side or the other. It is absolute. It is something that must be followed and everything else. But when you come down and you have, once again, it's a system when they come in, and this is how this works. You become a lawyer. You get your bar card, you get everything else. And then generally you clerk under somebody or you go for a firm and you learn for so long. And then most of the time, 90% of the work that most attorneys they can do is paperwork. 90% of it is just arguing, half of it on paper, not courtroom stuff. But most of them, once again, they also have a state license. And the other thing is there's bias because the judges and all the attorneys that are in the county know each other, like outside of work.
Mm-hmm. Like, can I touch on that? Can I touch on that since you're on that subject? I after talking to you guys earlier, I got off the phone and I researched, the caseworker on my case right now. Mm-hmm. The same caseworker from the start came back. Don't ask me how that happened. But she came back and I looked her up today and I did a search in Maine for her record. And it comes up that she states on her employee for the state of Maine that she's only worked for the department. That's incorrect because she's also a notary, a car associate person, and she's doing all these other jobs under the fucking table and not claiming that on her income. Mm-hmm. I found that information today.
Listen, these people that work in government agency, if they're higher up, they are taught to do an LLC and create shell corporations. They are literally taught this and they hide it in the law. I can't tell you how many people say, well, if I work, then I can have the state for anything for my judge or anything else go into my LLC. That's a complete different thing because now you're a what? You're a corporation, and corporations are not to sit in powers of government.
Darren, I just made
very clear in USC guide. So that's a conflict of interest right there because they're not supposed to be doing that. They're supposed to sit up there as a free United States citizen to do those things. But once again, once you get the bar card, they throw out their oath. Why? Because that's all they're taught and that's all that's practiced in the courtrooms, one after another, until these judges get out. But once again, they've softened up your deputy that's in your courtroom that has the power and it's supposed to be trained for when the judge fucks up. and does something unconstitutional to arrest the judge or anybody else in the in that courtroom that commits a constitutional rights violation, but they're not trained other than being lapdogs and paper pushers or escorts for anything else in a courtroom. Why? They stripped the powers of the sheriff and once again dumb them down. So now they figure they ain't got. I've got to do what the judge says. Where was your free thinking? You swore an oath to the Constitution, not to anybody else, the judge, the county, the state, anything. Your oath is to the Constitution. There's where it goes. But once again, you raise a bunch of generations, a couple of generations that don't know the true meaning of what an oath is and how serious it is. Guess what you got? Welcome to how it slowly slipped away.
And guess what else they also list on the main website up here? They actually list the judge's bonds on the website. I found that today too. I was like,
If you look quick enough, a lot of this is getting free. They have to have it, out there. And some of these old podunk towns are going to have to take and catch up or get absorbed because they can't. If you cannot follow the law and operate your city or town appropriately under the Constitution, you shouldn't exist. Bottom line.
yeah, well, wait till Maine just, they've fucked around and they keep doing shit in the dirty side and leaving the Republican Party out completely. Like they censored a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. And there's
other let them talk.
Listen, there's judges out there that there's cases that people have done pro se, sui juris, and the judges actually struck their testimony completely because they wouldn't obey or this or that. You've got another thing here in Tennessee, and here's a fun one, of a woman that was working with CPS and the court systems that falsified her license and her education, saying she went to a school for psychology in London, and her certificate, it was funny, she put her damn grades on there. So they went to verify it and London goes, we don't put grades on a diploma. That's not a legitimate. Hey, nobody does. That's the whole damn point. So it was. This is somebody that was dealing with children and families, though, and stealing children that didn't even have the proper degree that they're hiring.
Right.
And this woman was licensed as a psychologist or a psychiatrist.
How you doing, Brian?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Yeah, we got Brian on here from RIFRA.
So
Brian, what do you got going on this next week down in DC?
Well, in 2 weeks, the Family Forum Project is hosting the event for the Title IV Reform Rally, and it's going from the 7th through the 11th. I know some people are getting down there a bit early and staying a little bit later, but Connie Rigoli is in charge of this event. We do have legal permits for this event. Kathleen Arthur has been doing a wonderful job. I'm also part on the permit as well. We're going to be on Area 5 of the Capitol building grounds, which is right across from Union Station. We already know for a fact that we're going to have some media out there, as well as InfoWars is also going to be there. We don't know if Alex Jones is going to be there, but we do know that somebody from InfoWars is going to be there. There's going to be a lot going on. On Monday, the 7th, there's going to be some classes inside the Capitol building where some members of Congress or legislators going to be involved in that to help and guide people. I know Connie's going to be in charge of that. I know there's also going to be a brunch on Friday morning too. I don't know the exact details of the brunch. I just know what I've been told through our little group chat. We just got approved for the stage area and everything. So everything is definitely coming along very smoothly for this. We're expecting a lot of people. We got some congressmen that are going to be speaking, as well as other high officials at this event for the 3 days. The outdoor event, which is going to be happening on Area 5, will be going on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. So we want as many people out there as possible to come out and join us in order to get reform. We know for a fact that DOGE is looking into Title IV aspect when it comes to child support. And we want to, continue to push the envelope even further above the bar in order to get them to go deeper and deeper into Title IV, because it's not just the child support aspect; it's the entire child. The Title IV needs to be abolished.
Right. Do you know? Do you have any insight on whether or not they are going to actually look at the 4E or any of that stuff? Have you heard anything?
I do not know. I know Mark Ludwig has had meetings with Doge members. I know he's been in the room with Elon Musk and several other top brass when it comes to Doge. And you can ask him more about that, and you might be able to get him on the show to go into detail. I know for a while he wasn't relaying that information because of what was being done within Doge when it came to Title IV. But somebody had leaked it to the news agencies, and it got put out there on the news waves on Fox 5 and several other news agencies within DC. So he actually did a live on that, saying that somebody dropped the ball on this one. It wasn't supposed to be released yet, but we do know that Doge is indeed looking in Title IV.
No, that's good stuff. So tell us a little bit about your radio station, man. Tell us what you got going on.
RFIRN, we started back in 2012. We've recently been down over the last 3 years. My co-host, Stephen Ball, in Washington State. I'm actually in Delaware now. I used to live just north of D.C., but he, had a new child, so he went to do the father thing, and, I was in the process of moving from Maryland to Delaware. So our show has been down for quite some time. We plan on coming back, but we're not just going to focus on family law issues. We're going to do a whole wide range of stuff, and we're just waiting for the right moment to come back.
Oh, that's exciting. We'll keep an eye out for that one for sure, Brian. You want to hang out here and just discuss some stuff with us?
Oh, absolutely. I'm more than willing to share and participate in any way you all seem fit.
Right on. So where are we going next, Gunner?
Well, I always like to go back to the Constitution all day. I mean, but that's just me. Some people like to dance around with a few other things. I mean, I just like to keep it cut, simple, and not make it complicated. I mean, I was always taught to use the KISS method, so keep it simple, stupid, that type of thing, and just stay on to the Constitution. I think we need to keep peeling the onion. I think we need to keep stripping away those things that should not be. The abuse of things is obviously the curtain's coming back on that. People are beginning to wake up. People are beginning to realize, and it's on both sides of the aisle, I believe. And it's just a matter of time, because once they hit the tipping point, I think a lot of people, you'd have to be almost clinically insane or not mentally capable to comprehend that. That I think once it actually comes out that there's proof that they've actually been trafficking the children in the way that they've been obtaining these children, and once some of that comes out, I think they're in deep trouble, and I think there's a lot more to come. Matter of fact, I know there's a lot more to come. As you guys know, our listeners, if you follow, either here or on Gunning for CPS on Sundays at 9:30 Eastern Standard. You guys have been following that. You guys know there's a lot of stuff coming. There's some things that we can't talk about. There's certain things we can talk about. But like I said, it's already well known that we've already turned over some evidence to the Department of Justice and the FBI. There are open investigations currently with that evidence in all 50 states. It has been confirmed. They just got to put a few things together. And we have a few missing puzzle pieces that we were waiting on doing a few things. So they're getting ready to get those other puzzle pieces. And once that drops, it's going to be just about up to everybody else to do what they do. And we'll see where the chips lay. But I don't think they're going to like when we come in and have a nice little talk with them. And, here's the rest of part two. And there's and a lot of people are having this spin in other states too of they're sniffing around. The FBI is sniffing around both in your state's capital, where the Department of Health and Human Services, the Department of Children and Family Services Division, once again, it's under that hat. They are looking at them. They're watching them. Yes, they're looking at child support. They're looking at the family court. They're looking at the civil courts. They're finding out this infection of communist thinking And this whole socialist program of if you don't behave, we're going to do that, which is what CPS is. The very essence of CPS is unconstitutional because it violates the constitutional rights of actually your heritage and actually your culture, and it's wiping it out. It's genocide, cultural gentrification is what it is. Because they put them in, they reprogram them. You have somebody from the government coming in and telling you what is appropriate and what is not appropriate for your children. That is not their right. That actually should fall under God's law, which the Constitution is, and any law after that is forbid to pass anything in regards to God's law. But once again, we're trying to play God in something that we possibly can. And I think it's getting ready to blow up because there's only so much they're going to take. And once people find a way to fight and find something that's going to stick, I guarantee you it's going to be like some piranhas with some fresh ground beef in the middle of the Amazon. It's going to go nuts.
Right. Well, watch this. This is what you just came up with, but check this out. Check this video out, guys. Get it. Yeah. Here we go.
Accusations are unconstitutional because honestly, if there hasn't been a criminal adjudication that a parent is unfit or unwilling to parent, then there's no basis for the court to interfere in the parent-child relationship. There is no 14th Amendment basis to do it. Family court judges will just brag like, yeah, we violate people's constitutional rights all the time because we go with the best interests of the child. And they brag about violating parents' constitutional rights. And they hated me for making constitutional rights arguments because the great fear of all family courts is that one day some father's going to make it into federal court. And they're going to have to rule that these gag orders are unconstitutional, that these supervised visitations are unconstitutional. Because honestly, if there hasn't been a criminal adjudication that a parent is unfit or unwilling to parent, then there's no basis for the court to interfere in the parent-child relationship. There is no 14th Amendment basis to do it. Family court judges.
Right up the alley. Family court judges will.
Well, I want to make note.
Brian, what do you think about this?
I want to make note that the Supreme Court has already ruled gag orders unconstitutional.
Oh, yes. Have they really? So that's good. That's good.
We like that would apply to.
But they're still handing out gag orders it's nobody's business. I mean, they're doing it
because no attorney's willing to fight it, and that's the problem. It all starts with for the attorneys. For instance, I was saying that I was trying to get my attorney that I had at the time during my situation, and it was to the point where I fired my attorney and I started fighting pro bono. And of course, the mom's attorney kept saying that I can't be speaking about the stuff on social media. I'd be like, try and stop me. It's my First Amendment right. The U.S. Supreme Court has already ruled that you cannot stop me from being my own personal media outlet.
That's a good one. I like that.
But they're trying to do that to me because they're trying to stop. They have it written within my bail conditions that I can't share any information out to anyone on social media. They gagged me that way.
Well, they can't gag you. Like I said, you have a right to be your own personal media source.
Brian, what do you think about all this? These judges that are just rogue and not listening. They're not doing what the Supreme Court says. They're not going with the laws of the land. They're not even ruling on the Constitution. And they're just sitting here. They're taking parents' time and taking kids from these parents day after day after day after day. And all of these rules are in place. Even Title IV funding is a great program if it was implemented right, but it's not. It's the people that are running the program that make it into, garbage. And, it's all about reunification. It's all about helping out the family, but yet they've taken it, they turned it. What do we do? What do we do when all of this system is like this? Everything's put into line to help a family, but none of it is there to help the family. It's just all in disarray.
Well, to answer your first question, first and foremost, it's the good old buddy system when it comes to judges and attorneys. They're working together, and they're making bank off the destructions of families. regardless. And until we can get the immunity of them, taken off the board, I have a feeling that once the laws are written as clear as day, that we get legislation in, which is what Mark Ludwig and Connie and so many others are trying to do right now, is trying to get them held, these judges and attorneys held accountable for their actions. So unfortunately, we have to go through the federal level because the states aren't doing nothing about it. So that's first and foremost is getting in the federal level to the point where, and honestly, I think if Trump, has anything to do with it, I think we will eventually have accountability within the family court system. And, unless there is, reasonable doubt that there is any form of abuse, then honestly, charges need to be filed against that parent and not just have the kid stripped from them. There needs to be charges first and foremost. So, and, you got to be able to defend yourself, and using emotion and whatnot against a parent. That's wrong in itself. I know for 12 years that I fought my battle, and for those that don't know who I am, for 12 years I fought in the family courts. I finally, after my last hearing in 2022, it was to the point where I gave up on the court system. Now I actually have a perfect relationship with my kids. The mom and I are actually co-parenting, which is what I wanted since 2010 when my situation began. And it's better off. Once the mom finally grew up, once I finally grew up and, realized that the courts were the main factor, the main problem, because they were pinning us against each other. They were instigating situations, and they were force feeding me having to always go back to court. Once I realized, once I stopped going to court, everything was better.
Well, what's best for your family, not the courts. That's the thing here. Like these people, we're getting life decisions made by some arrogant prick that's sitting behind a bench that looks at maybe a paragraph of your 2,000-page dockets that you have sitting in front of them, and they're going to look at it and they're going to say, okay, well, this custody or this child support order and this is it, and have a nice day. They have no interest in you. They don't care about you. All they care about is that check that you're going to get from however many, whatever they've got on their docket that day they're getting. That's what they care about. And we're allowing it. Just like GA out.
Because the states get kickbacks. They get an incentive in order to keep the parents, keep the child in the system. The more they keep you in the system, the more federal funding they get under Title IV.
Yeah, that's it. But and the thing is, though, is Title IV was made to work correctly. It says in there, reunification. Somewhere along the lines, they dropped reunification because all of us know when CPS takes your kids, you're not getting any reunification. It's 12%. That's what it comes out to be. It's all. That's all it is. And the numbers that they give you, they're full of inflation. They're disgusting, and they're lying to. But where do we make the American people, regular Joe that hasn't been affected by CPS, the regular Joe that is unaware of this, and then the regular Joe that thinks that all of us are crazy? How do we get them involved in this fight?
I could be
that's the question.
I could be that one and say call CPS on them and let them experience it firsthand.
I know. You know what? Imagine if there was just a falsity, like
Nancy Schaefer. The system needs merchandise. The system needs our children in order to stay alive. If parents stop going to court and start working their issues out together, whether you're together or separated, as long as you work in the best interest of the children, the court system, you can literally keep in the back door. They won't even be a part of it. So we as parents need to stop giving the system their merchandise in order to stop collecting on the destructions of families.
I agree with that 1,000%. The more we just are giving them, this is a whole volunteer system. And that's the education that we need to get out there. We need to let people know that don't do this. If CPS comes to your house, don't get scared, don't walk away, don't let them in. Don't let any of this stuff happen, because we are all giving our kids to them for no reason. We're just literally handing them our kid out of fear that our government's going to punish us. That's really the
That's
reality of
why
it.
we got to get them little Constitution cards Darren's got for our children, so they start carrying around their Constitution.
Darren, is
That's
Jennifer
it.
in the?
She is not yet. She is not back there yet. We still got we got 5 minutes left, so she can still make it in. Adrenochrome, labor, sex trafficking, yeah, that's all part of it. It absolutely is. Hey Brian, do you have anything going on right now? I mean, are you doing shows? Are you doing anything right now? Or are you just kind of trying to break back in?
Well, right now, like I said, RFRN has been down. We've been down since 2022. Because Steve has been doing his fatherly thing with his kids and everything while his wife works.
Yeah.
He's a stay-at-home dad. Me personally, I've been in the shadows here lately. Like I said, I just moved to Delaware just over a year ago. Opened up a brand new store, about to become store manager. So I've had a lot of things going on my end. Plus also getting back and forth to Maryland to see my kids because they still live with their mom. But yeah, no, being in the shadows, I've been able to help a lot of parents, moms and dads have reached out to me because of the show that we did. And, we were able to help them write their court documents for them to help them fight pro bono. I just helped a family up in Maine get their kids back from CPS and out of the system. And because one thing I notice is when you do fight for yourself, you bring a lot of emotion to it. And I know that from personal experience. When I've helped other parents write their court documents, I have them send me what they have. And I'll be like, whoa, stop right there. One, you're bringing way too many accusations, which the courts do not want to hear. They want to know facts. They don't want to see your emotions within your court documents. They want just facts. And once you just keep it at facts, you bring in a few pieces of evidence, not all, because you can always bring that into the court itself during the court proceedings if you're in court. So leave emotion, leave personal attacks out of your court documents because the court just won't look at it. And that's based upon my own personal experience. So, like I said, we were able to help this family up in Maine. I've helped a few parents up in PA. I've also helped moms and dads who, needed a little extra funding because they need to get new tires or brakes or something for their car in order to get back and forth to work for their kids. And, I try to help out as much as I can. So I do donations on a daily basis when people reach out to me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good stuff. Well, if you wanted to come out of the light a little bit, we got room for you here. If you're interested in popping a show like once a week or something like that, you want to just come on, or even once a month, we got room for you, man. So we'll keep that in mind.
A lot of people that are in the movement know me from doing the Christmas marathons. I did that with RFIRN. Like I said, the last couple of years, I haven't really been able to do so. I haven't been in the position to be able to do so. I'm hoping to be in my own home here hopefully by the end of summer, thanks to the VA assisting with that. And but yeah, no, I definitely plan on getting back and doing the Christmas marathons again and getting all the podcasts, your podcast, and several others that are out there to join in. I want to get Ryan with what was it? Daggone it, I'm having a brain fart here. He runs a little group where he does a lot of TikTok videos and whatnot. And but Mark Ludwig, he's been on my show on many occasions. Yaya McClain, Cash Jackson, Carlos Rivera, Christy Beck. It's just countless people. I know at the event in April, coming up this April in DC, I've been tasked to collect names. So if anyone who is listening right now, if you know anyone who's taken their own lives due to suicide because of the family court system, do reach out to me through RFIRN or through my private page, and get me those names because I've been asked to do a remembrance of them, as well as Nancy Schaefer. Nancy Schaefer is one that I.
What was that, Brian? What was the address you need those?
They can do rfirnetwork@gmail.com. Matter of fact, I'll post it in the link for you. as a comment.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can reach out to me here. They can reach out to me on RFIRN Facebook page as well. All they gotta do is type in RFIRN, and on Facebook, you'll be able to send me a message through there. If you have me on your personal page, it's just Brian Lee. Just look me up. You can't miss me. I got a big chicken and cake because it's my gaming profile. Because that's what I do as a hobby. This what I do with the family law is a passion. But we definitely need something to keep our minds focused and be able to woo-saw and stay calm ourselves.
Yeah, you can't. Right, you can't keep doing this stuff. You do this stuff day in, day out, 24/7, man. You need to have a turn off for a minute.
Which is also the reason why we had to take a step back from our show for a while, because it became our lives, and it was destroying our personal vendettas. I was bringing it into work when I shouldn't have, and so we need that time to be able to chill and relax and have some fun. But yeah, Nancy Schaefer, that's former Georgia Senator Nancy Schaefer.
We know her well. Well, we would have known her well.
So
had that not that.
And that's where we say a lot of times too, working with CPS, this is psychological warfare.
It is.
I don't think people do that, and that's one of the things why I think we took the direction we did on our show is every other week we deal with mental health on those things, identification, that, because there is an aspect, and we need to get to the place of the frame of mind to recenter and do the one thing that we tell everybody that most people don't do before they jump into other relationships too, is heal. Take some time to heal. Be good with you. And that will help so much. Do something positive for yourself every day. This is taxing on your mind, your spirit, your soul. You need to do something to preserve that and make sure it doesn't wither away.
Yep. Absolutely.
Hey guys, absolutely. Hey guys, we do this thing, Brian, right here on our show every night. We call it Last Thoughts. And it's it. We're at that time. Herbert, you want to kick off the last thoughts?
My last thoughts are, if ever you have the police or CPS come to your door, do not allow them in unless they have the proper paperwork to come in with reason for coming in. It should be documented on the paperwork, their reason for their visit. If they don't have that, don't let them in. And you want to see that paper before they come in. Don't even open the door. Tell them to slip it under the door or slip it through the mailbox chute or whatever you got. And then read it and then let them in, or don't let them in. And above all, stay calm, don't argue, don't fight, because that goes against you in court.
Brenda, last thoughts?
I didn't even say first thoughts in here. I'll go for my last thought. Yeah, I was just thinking about. I just want to mention that my daughter was in a foster placement with a Haitian family. I mean, I looked followed up by looking up. She wasn't even from this country, for one thing, and she was placed there because she was supposed to have a person that could help her because she has delays and help her with her hygiene and stuff like that. And come to find out, this lady wasn't even taking care of herself, let alone my daughter. But it's just pretty disheartening that when my daughter went to she had a neuropsychologist did an evaluation on her just a month and a half before our TPR hearing, and these things were omitted from the trial. And the only way I found out about it was another case that I had, and it was actually in my discoveries. I just think that everybody, whatever court cases you got going on that really connects to your children, make sure you get all your court media and your transcripts, everything. It seems to be a quicker and cheaper way to get the court media. I know I've had a lot of good luck with being able to do that, and I think by having that media and going over those court hearings, you really can tell the people's demeanor and really get a sense of what pieces of crap you're dealing with or not. So yeah, that's what my suggestion is. Make sure you guys get all your court media before it's too late. I think it's like 8 to 10 years or something you have to get it.
All right. Thanks, Brenda. That's good stuff. That's good advice. All right, Brian, you get it?
Yeah, absolutely. First,
Last
first and
thoughts.
foremost, I want to respond to Albie's comment here, where they said family law is draining, and I want more people to be able to have a fighting chance. Absolutely, this is the reason why we're trying to get as many people out to DC this April into any event that is done, or get people on podcasting like this podcast here. The more people we get to speak out there, the better. The more you're out, if you're in Lyft or Uber, or you're out in town somewhere, talk about it with people. I know whenever I take Lyft and Uber, I'm always talking to the driver. They're like, well, what do you do? And I said, well, this is my passion. We're fighting for family law reform, but you want to make sure that you're given the right information. Like I said, I've always spoke about Nancy Schaefer, and that's the one person that I always bring up in every conversation. And I said, don't just take my word for it. Go watch her videos. They're all over YouTube. I know I've posted a few up on our YouTube channel as well. And, it just speak her, learn her language, learn her jargon, and you can't go wrong. So for anyone that's out there, if you can make it to DC, whether you're there for 2 days, 1 day, the entire week, come out and join us. Again, it's April 7th through the 11th, and 8th, 9th, and 10th, we will be on Area 5 of the Capitol building across the street from Union Station.
Awesome. Yes, sir. We will get the word out. We'll keep posting that for you guys for sure, for everybody. And then we'll see if maybe some of us can't make it down there for this coming event.
Love to have all you guys out there. The more the merrier.
I'd like to
Oh,
go.
yeah.
I'd like to go.
I would too. Gunner.
Go ahead, do your favor.
Okay.
Yes, Sharon.
That's all good.
It's fine. So I just want to say that the trauma and stress of going through these situations can feel extremely overwhelming. And every day that you are able to get up out of bed is a win, and take care of yourselves. I'm really proud of us and everybody here. I mean, we're all sticking with it and getting through it the best we can. And there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. But just remember that your kids need you to take care of yourself. So do that.
Oh yeah, Sharon. That's good words. Good words of advice there.
Guys, I'm going to say the same thing know your Constitution, know your rights, take your time, educate yourself, realize what your rights are, stand for what is right, don't give up hope. Above anything else, if you feel overwhelmed, make sure you get some help or reach out to other people around you, even those here on the show. The email address is going across the screen right now at the bottom if you need to reach out. Guys, like and follow our channel, get reminders, check out all of our individual shows. But be your best advocate and be what you're supposed to, because understood, this system that we are waking up to that has been done is we have been dumbed down, and our rights are being slowly eroded away by omissions, is what it comes down to. But if you're educated, you're knowledgeable, even though you may get knocked down in some of the lower courts, but understanding also, usually 90% of the time, these judges, they don't even have jurisdiction in cases because you have constitutional rights violations. And that's the thing of knowing how to fight, how to understand how the system works, how it applies to you, that you're not getting taught in the school systems. But one of the most important things to do on top of that, after that, is learn what it takes to make a legal document. Because if you don't know what a warrant or a legal court order looks like and what the requirements are, and we've just nationally heard about AutoPen is not a legal form of document signing. Let's make sure that's clear. And all of those must be followed. That is part of due process. That is part of your constitutional rights. Stay strong, stay smart, carry on.
Yes, sir. Vincent?
I think I'm going to follow along them lines a little bit. You guys, now that we're starting to all notice, everyone's starting to wake up all across the globe. I'm seeing big movements with parents actually speaking up and speaking out. They've had enough. We need to keep this pressure on because it is showing throughout the nations. You know, these are our children. These people need to keep their fucking hands off.
Oh yeah, Vinny. Good stuff. All right. That's really good. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. This is great. Like, this is really cool. This is an impromptu night. Like, Brian, you just showed up. Brenda, you showed up tonight. This was really awesome. Sharon came in. Like, this was really cool. And we need to keep these things going. So anybody out there that's been watching, you know, write in. If we're here every night, except for last night when I fell asleep. That was my bad. So I apologize about that last night. I missed one out of 500 something. So.
That's what I was wondering. I didn't know
We talked about that, and we have a solution that we have worked out. So we're going to keep these shows going as a team effort. And
that's right.
When our leader takes and our producer takes and says, I need a break, we got you covered.
Well, when your manager says, oh, well, I got to take a break too.
So yeah, you know,
we'll work it out. Adapt and overcome, baby.
Yes, sir. So, you know what? I'm gonna leave it with that. This is a great group of people, and you guys are all great, and everybody that watches us is really awesome. And Brian, you should definitely you're welcome here anytime. We'll even make some room for you to do your own thing. So, that all being said, I'm the CPS Punisher. We are out of here. Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate. The values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour and troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, oh, we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. 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 One day, one day, one day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stop the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightest feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.